The courtroom stretched across half a mile of empty space. It floated inside Station Meridian, the largest structure the Galactic Coalition had ever built. Stood in the center, alone on a platform that glowed with soft blue light. Around him, thousands of beings from hundreds of worlds watched in silence. He wore his pilot uniform. The silver wings on his chest marked him as one of the best. He had flown for the Coalition for 8 years. He had saved colonies. He had stopped pirates. He had done everything they asked. Now they called him a criminal. The judges sat high above him. 3 of them represented the most powerful races in the galaxy. The first was Al, whose body looked like living crystal that changed colors when it spoke. The second was a lumen, a creature made of glowing gas held together by its own energy field. The third was covered in a hard shell with too many eyes. Of Earth, Al's voice echoed through the chamber. You stand accused of breaking the sacred directive. You made contact with a forbidden species. You brought them aboard your ship. You transported them to Coalition space. How do you answer? Looked up at the judges. His hands were steady. I saved them, he said. They were dying. A wave of whispers moved through the crowd. The lumen judge pulsed with angry red light. The directive exists for the safety of all species. The void plague cannot spread if we maintain quarantine protocols. They were children, said. His voice was louder now. 6 children trapped in a broken station. The plague was gone. The station's medical systems confirmed it. I could not leave them to die. Clicked its mandibles together. The risk was too great. One mistake, one missed infection, it could have killed billions. Thought about that day 3 months ago. His ship, had picked up a distress signal from the edge of quarantine space. The station was old and falling apart. Inside, 6 young beings huddled in the medical bay. Their species had been wiped out by the void plague 5 years earlier. These children were all that remained. The Coalition said to leave them. The directive was clear, had looked at those frightened faces through his and made a choice. I ran every test, said. Twice, 3 times they were clean. The plague was gone from their systems. They deserved a chance to live. Al's crystal body flashed bright white. You are not a scientist. You are not a medical expert. You do not have the authority to make that decision. I am a pilot, agreed, and a pilot's job is to save lives when possible. The lumen spoke next. Your species has always struggled with following rules. Humans ask too many questions. You challenge protocols. This is why Earth remains on the outer edges of Coalition space. This is why so few of your kind are trusted with important positions. Felt the old anger rise in his chest. He had heard these words before. His mentor had warned him. They will never see you as equal, had said years ago. Work twice as hard, make no mistakes. Maybe then they will respect you. Had worked twice as hard. He had made no mistakes until now. I followed my training, said. I assessed the situation. I determined the risk was acceptable. I acted to preserve life. Is that not what the Coalition stands for? Leaned forward. The Coalition stands for order, for safety, for the continuation of civilization across the stars. Your actions put all of that at risk for 6 individuals. 6 children, repeated. The judges spoke among themselves in languages did not understand. He saw the children in the viewing section above. They were clean now, healthy, wearing new clothes. The Coalition had placed them in a medical facility after his arrest. They watched him with wide eyes. One of them, a small one with silver fur, pressed a hand against the transparent wall, lifted his hand in return. Finally, Al spoke. We have reached a decision. Of Earth, you are found guilty of violating the sacred directive. You are stripped of your rank. You are expelled from Coalition defense forces, and you are hereby exiled from all Coalition space. The words hit harder than expected. Exile. It meant he could never return to any Coalition station, never dock at any Coalition port. He would be marked in every system, Unwanted, unwelcome. You have 48 hours to leave Station Meridian, the Lumen said. Your ship will be returned to you. All your service records will be sealed. Any coalition member who aids you will face punishment. Nodded slowly. I understand. Do you have anything to say? Asked. Looked at the judges, then he looked at the children above. I would do it again, he said. Every time I would save them again. The platform beneath him began to lower. The crowd murmured. Some seemed angry, others seemed thoughtful, did not care what they thought. As guards escorted him from the chamber, accessed his communication device one last time before they took it away. He sent a message to his sister Sora, far away on station near Earth. I am coming home, he wrote. Tell them I tried to do the right thing. He did not know if she would receive it. He did not know if anyone would remember his name. But as he walked toward his ship through the silent corridors of Station Meridian, held his head high. The children were alive. That was enough. 6 months in the dark between stars changed a person. Learned this slowly, one empty day at a time. They drifted through unclaimed space, far from any trade route. The ship was small for long journeys. It had been designed for quick missions, not for living alone in the void. The walls seemed to grow closer each week. The silence became a physical thing that pressed against his ears. He kept a log. It helped to speak out loud, even if no one would ever hear it. Day 173, he said to the recording device. Supplies are getting low. I tried to dock at Kelvin Station yesterday. They detected my exile status before I even got close. They threatened to fire on me if I did not leave immediately. It was always the same. Every station, every port, the coalition had marked him well. His ship's identity broadcast his crime to anyone with a scanner. Exile, contamination risk, do not approach. Rationed his food carefully. He recycled water until it tasted like metal. He turned off all non-essential systems to save power. The ship grew cold. He wore 3 layers of clothing and still shivered at night. Day 198, he recorded. I saw a coalition patrol today. They followed me for 6 hours. They did not attack. They just watched, making sure I kept moving away from their territory. I wanted to scream at them. I wanted to ask if they were happy, but I said nothing. He thought about often. His old mentor had tried to send messages, but the coalition blocked them. Had received one transmission that got through, corrupted and broken. He could only make out a few words. Sorry, tried. They are watching. Stay safe. Wondered if the children were okay. He had no way to know. On day 204, this navigation system detected something strange. A small research station in a sector marked as hazardous on all coalition maps. It should not exist. But there it was, hidden behind a small moon, its energy signature barely visible. Was desperate enough to investigate. He approached slowly, ready to run if needed. The station was old but functional. It had no weapons that he could see. As he got closer, he received a transmission. Unidentified ship. This is Research Station Haven. We see you are marked as exiled. You are welcome here if you come in peace. Almost did not believe it. This is the I need supplies, food, water, I can pay. We do not need payment, the voice said. It was a woman speaking in Korean. Dock at Port 3, someone will meet you. The docking process was smooth. The station was small but clean. As stepped off his ship, a woman in a white coat walked toward him. She was Korean like him, maybe a few years older, with kind eyes behind thick glasses. I am, she said, extending her hand. Welcome to Haven. Shook her hand. You are human. What are you doing out here? Smiled. The same thing you are, running from the coalition. She gestured for him to follow. Come. You look like you need a hot meal and a real conversation. The station's common area was small but comfortable. Brought him soup and bread. Ate slowly, savoring food that did not come from a recycler. As he ate, explained. She said, one of the best. I studied how different species could live together, how to prevent conflicts, how to help civilizations grow. She paused. But the coalition did not like my research. I discovered that many of their forbidden zones were not actually dangerous. They were just places the coalition wanted to keep secret. Why? Asked. Resources, knowledge, power, leaned back in her chair. The coalition maintains control by limiting what species can access. They decide who is civilized enough, who is safe enough, who deserves a chance. Thought about the children, about the quarantine that might not have been necessary. So they exiled you. They tried to arrest me first, said. I ran. I have been out here for 4 years now, building this station, helping others like us. Others? Nodded. You are not the first exile to find haven, and you will not be the last. She stood up. Come, let me show you something. She led through the station to an observation deck. Through the large window, saw Earth. The blue and green planet hung in space, familiar and distant at the same time. Earth has become something special, said quietly. While the coalition pushes away anyone who questions them, Earth has been taking people in. Quietly, carefully. There are hundreds of exiles living on Earth now, maybe thousands, different species, different reasons for exile, but all welcome. Stared at his home world. He had not been there since he joined the coalition forces. The coalition allows this. The coalition watches, said. But Earth's leaders do not ask permission. They say that humanity knows what it feels like to be judged before being understood, to be called dangerous for being different. A door opened behind them. A man walked in carrying a data pad. He was tall and broad-shouldered, wearing an engineer's uniform. The supply ship is. He stopped when he saw, we have a visitor. This is, said, meet. He runs our refugee operations. Studied for a moment. Then he smiled. I know you. You are the pilot who saved those kids from the quarantine zone. The whole Exile network has been talking about you. Exile network? Asked. Information travels, said. Even the coalition cannot stop all communication. Exiles help each other. We share safe routes, safe harbors, news. He held out his hand. It is an honor to meet you. Shook his hand, feeling strange. I just did what seemed right. Exactly, said. And that is why Earth will welcome you. But I need to be honest with you. Earth is marked by the coalition. They watch it closely. Going there means accepting that you will never return to coalition space. Not ever. Looked back at Earth through the window. 6 months ago, that idea would have terrified him. Now it felt like coming home. Can you guide me there? He asked. Smiled. Yes, we leave tomorrow. We'll help you resupply your ship, get some rest, real rest. Tomorrow your exile ends. Tomorrow your new life begins. That night, slept in a real bed for the first time in months. He dreamed of the children playing on Earth's green fields, finally free. Gateway Station orbited Earth's moon like a massive silver ring. Had never seen anything like it. The structure was enormous, easily the size of a small city. Ships of every design and origin docked along its outer rim. Some he recognized from coalition space. Others were completely unknown to him. Gateway did not exist when you left, said from her ship beside his. They flew in formation toward the docking ports. Humans built it 5 years ago. Officially, it is a research station. Unofficially, it is the front door for exiles. As they approached, received a standard docking clearance. No warnings, no threats, no mention of his exile status. The controller's voice was calm and professional. You are cleared for Port 17. Welcome to Gateway. Welcome, such a simple word. Had not heard it in so long. The docking bay was clean and well lit. As stepped off his ship, a man in a military uniform approached. He was older, with gray in his hair and scars on his face that told stories of old battles. The man said, saluting, I am Commander, I run Gateway Station, told me you were coming. Returned the salute by habit. Thank you for allowing me to dock. Smiled, we do not just allow it, we encourage it. Come, let me show you around. As they walked through the station, saw dozens of different species. Some he knew from Coalition space. Others were completely new to him. They moved freely, talking and working together. An engineer helped a human technician repair a wall panel. A group of Lumen children played with human kids in a common area. A species did not recognize ran a small restaurant that smelled amazing. How many live here? Asked. On Gateway, about 2,000 said. On Earth below, maybe 10,000 exiles. The number grows every month. They entered a large observation deck that looked down at Earth. The planet was beautiful, covered in blue oceans and white clouds. Felt something loosen in his chest. A tension he had carried for months finally releasing. This is where we bring all new arrivals, said, to remind them what they are looking at. That is not just a planet, that is a promise. What kind of promise? Asked. That who you were does not matter. What you did in the past is done. Here we only care about who you choose to be now, pointed to different areas on Earth's surface. See that region, that is New Haven, built entirely by exiles. 3,000 people from 40 different species living together. They farm, they build, they create. No one tells them they are too dangerous or too different. A woman approached them. She was young, wearing casual clothes, carrying several old books. Commander, sorry to interrupt. I am a historian here. A historian? Asked. Someone needs to record what we are building, said with a smile. I study Earth's history and compare it to what is happening now. Would you like to know something interesting? Sure, said. Earth itself was almost exiled from the Coalition 70 years ago, said. The other species thought humans were too chaotic, too emotional, too unpredictable. They said we would destabilize galactic civilization. What happened? Asked. Earth's leaders made a choice, explained. They could change who they were to fit Coalition standards, or they could stay on the edges, remain themselves, and build something different. They chose the second option. Nodded. We learned that conformity is not the same as unity. The Coalition demands conformity. Earth offers unity through acceptance. Over the next few days, settled into life on Gateway. He met more people, heard more stories. Each exile had their own reason for being there. A scientist who asked too many questions. A pilot who refused an immoral order. A teacher who educated a forbidden species. A doctor who treated the wrong patient. All of them had made choices that the Coalition punished. All of them had found their way to Earth. Also found work. His skills as a pilot were valuable. Introduced him to the Exile Defense Network, a volunteer organization that protected refugee ships and guided them safely to Earth. We are not a military, explained. We do not attack, we do not invade, we defend and we rescue, nothing more. Met his new team in a briefing room. The tactical coordinator was a woman named. She was sharp-eyed and quick-thinking, with a reputation for staying 3 steps ahead of any problem. Welcome to the team, said, shaking his hand. I read about what you did. Saving those kids took courage. You were Coalition? Asked, recognizing her tactical style from the briefing she had been giving. Intelligence Division, said. I spent 5 years gathering information about exile movements. The Coalition wanted to know who was helping refugees, where they were going, how to stop them. She paused. Then they ordered me to report on children, families, people who had done nothing wrong except be born in the wrong place. I refused, so here I am. Training with the Defense Network felt good. Was flying again, helping again, making a difference again. The other pilots came from different backgrounds and different worlds, but they worked together smoothly. There was no prejudice here. No one cared what species you were or where you came from. One evening, sat in the observation deck, watching Earth rotate slowly below. Found him there. Beautiful, is it not? Said, sitting beside him. I never thought I would see it again, admitted. I heard your sister is on station, said. Have you contacted her? Not yet. I do not want to put her at risk. The coalition monitors all communications from there. Nodded, smart, but she will hear about you being here. News travels. They sat in comfortable silence for a while, then spoke again. The long-range sensors picked up something today. Coalition scout ships on the outer edge of the system, just watching. Felt a chill. How many? 3 so far. They are not doing anything, just observing, mapping. Looked worried. Thinks they are gathering information, building a complete picture of our network. Why would they do that? Asked, though he suspected he knew the answer. Because they are planning something, said quietly. The coalition does not like what we are building here. They see it as a threat. That night received an encrypted message on a private channel. It took him a moment to recognize the sender. His old mentor had found a way through. The message was short. They are coming. I do not know when, I do not know how many, but I heard the council talking. They want to end this. Consolidate your people or scatter them. Either way, be ready. I am sorry I cannot do more. Stay safe, my friend. Read the message 3 times. Then he deleted it and went to find. If war was coming to Earth, they needed to prepare. The galaxy had exiled them. Now it wanted to destroy them. But had learned something in his months of exile. Those who had been cast out were often the strongest. They had already lost everything. They had nothing left to fear. Earth would not surrender, and neither would he. The coalition fleet arrived at dawn. 15 massive warships dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of Earth's solar system. Their weapons were not charged, but their presence said enough. This was not a visit. This was a statement. Stood in Gateway's command center beside and the main screen showed the fleet in formation, each ship large enough to destroy a city. At the center was the flagship, a crystalline vessel that glowed with internal light. That is Al's ship, said quietly. The same judge who exiled you. They sent the High Arbiter himself. A transmission came through. Al's image appeared on screen, its crystal body shifting through different colors as it spoke. Earth, this is High Arbiter Al of the Galactic Coalition. We come with an ultimatum. You are harboring dangerous criminals, exiles who have broken sacred laws, individuals who threaten galactic stability. You have 72 hours to surrender all non-human exiles to Coalition custody. If you refuse, Earth will be placed under complete quarantine. No ships in, no ships out, no trade, no communication. You will be cut off from galactic civilization. The transmission ended. The command center was silent. Turned to his communications officer. Get me Earth's United Nations, now. Within an hour, Earth's leaders responded. Ambassador, representing the UN, broadcast a message that went to every ship in the system and beyond. Watched on screen. The man was old, but his voice was strong and clear. High Arbiter Al, the Coalition, all who are listening, Earth has heard your demands. We reject them completely. The people here, human and non-human alike, are not criminals. They are refugees. They are people who asked difficult questions, made hard choices, chose compassion over protocol. Earth does not trade in lives. We do not surrender people who came to us for help. Your quarantine means nothing. We have lived on the edges before. We will do it again. Earth stands with the exiled. Felt pride swell in his chest. This was humanity at its best, standing up to power, refusing to abandon those who needed help. But the pride was mixed with fear. Earth was not a military power. Gateway Station had a small defense fleet. Against 15 coalition warships, they stood no chance in a real fight. The coalition gave them 72 hours. Earth used that time to prepare. In Gateway's main hall, watched as exiles gathered. Hundreds of them, every species, every background. They knew what the quarantine would mean. No more food from off-world, no more medical supplies, no more trade. Earth would have to survive on its own resources. A group of exiles approached. They had chosen a lumen named Brightthought as their speaker. Commander, Brightthought said, its gaseous form pulsing with sad blue light. Many of us have been talking. We will surrender ourselves. We will return to the coalition. Earth should not suffer because of us. Shook his head. No, that is not happening. But your people, Bright Thought began, are standing by our principles, interrupted. We do not protect you because it is easy. We protect you because it is right. Stepped forward. I will go. I am the one Al really wants. Maybe if I surrender, they will leave the others alone. They will not, said from behind him. She had been working non-stop since the fleet arrived, pulling every piece of intelligence she could find. I have been digging through old coalition files, talking to my contacts. This is not about you. This is not even about the exiles. Then what is it about? Asked. He had been organizing supplies, preparing for a long quarantine. Pulled up data on the main screen. 3 years ago, a survey team found something on Earth's moon, precursor technology, artifacts from an ancient civilization that existed before the coalition, before any current species. The coalition confiscated what they could, but Earth kept some, started studying it. Gasped. The research station on the dark side. I thought that was just a mining operation. It is a cover, continued. Earth scientists have been working with exile scientists, combining knowledge from dozens of species. They are unlocking secrets the coalition has been hiding for centuries. Technology that could change everything. The coalition does not want exiles eliminated because you are dangerous. They want you gone because together, you are competition. The room erupted in shocked conversation. Try to process this. So this whole thing, the quarantine threat, it is about controlling knowledge. It always has been, said. The coalition maintains power by deciding what each species can know, what they can access. Earth and the exiles together represent something the coalition cannot control. Shared knowledge, open research, no restrictions. Was quiet for a long moment. Then he smiled. It was not a happy smile. It was the smile of someone who just figured out how to win an impossible game. Then we give them what they fear most, said. We share everything with everyone, every piece of research, every discovery, every secret we have learned. We broadcast it across the entire galaxy, free, open, for anyone to access. Understood immediately. If everyone has the knowledge, the coalition cannot control it anymore. Their power comes from being gatekeepers. Remove the gate. And the gatekeepers become obsolete, finished. It was a massive risk. The coalition would be furious, but they would also be powerless to stop the spread of information once it was out there. Over the next day, Earth scientists worked with exile researchers to compile everything, coordinated the xenobiology data, organized the engineering discoveries, documented the historical context, helped where he could, mostly by keeping people fed and rested. On the third day, with only hours left before the quarantine began, Earth broadcast everything. Terabytes of data, research on precursor technology, new methods of energy production, medical advances that could cure diseases across dozens of species, agricultural techniques that could feed billions, all of it free, all of it open. The transmission went everywhere, every public channel, every research institution, every colony, every independent station. Within hours, thousands of locations across the galaxy had downloaded and the data. The coalition could not stop it. It was too late. But Al was not finished. Its voice came through on an open channel, cold and angry. You have forced our hand, Earth. You have committed an act of information terrorism. You have destabilized galactic order. We will now enforce quarantine by military action if necessary. Any ship attempting to leave or enter Earth's system will be destroyed. This is not a threat. This is a promise. The fleet began to move forward, weapons charging. Looked at, they are really going to attack. Yes, said calmly. They are. Get to your ship. All defense pilots to your ships. We cannot win this fight, but we can make them think twice about what they are doing. As ran toward the alarms blared throughout Gateway Station. This was it. Earth had made its choice. Now they would face the consequences together. The launched from Gateway Station alongside 40 other small ships. Against 15 coalition warships, they were insects facing giants, but had learned something important during his exile. Size did not always mean victory. Sometimes courage mattered more. All ships, this is, the commander's voice came through the communication channel. Our job is not to win. Our job is to delay, to give Earth time, make every second count. The Exile fleet spread out in a defensive formation, flew beside ships piloted by beings from a dozen different worlds. Each pilot brought their own skills, their own unique way of flying. The coalition trained everyone the same way, but exiles learned to be creative, to adapt, to survive. The coalition fleet moved forward slowly, confident in their power, their weapons charged with deadly light. Then something unexpected happened. The first transmission came from a small colony at the edge of coalition space, a mining station called Refuge Point. "We have received Earth's data," a voice said over open channels. "We support their decision. The coalition has hidden too much for too long. We stand with Earth." A second transmission followed, then a third, then dozens more. Colonies across the galaxy, small stations, independent research facilities, all of them broadcasting the same message. They had downloaded Earth's research. They were sharing it further, and they supported Earth's right to protect refugees. On Gateway's command center, watched the flood of messages with wide eyes. It is working. The free colonies are rising up. The coalition cannot silence them all. Al's fleet hesitated. Its weapons were still charged, but it had not fired yet. The High Arbiter opened a channel. "This changes nothing," Al said. "Earth has broken galactic law. There will be consequences." Then another voice joined the channel, one recognized immediately. "High Arbiter, this is Commander of the Coalition Defense Forces. I am aboard the CDF Horizon, currently holding position 3 light towers from Earth. I have with me 12 ships and their crews. We request permission to speak." His heart raced, was here with ships. Al's crystal body flashed angry red. "Commander, you were ordered to remain at your post. This is insubordination." "Yes, sir, it is," said calmly. "But I have had 72 hours to think, to read the data Earth released, to talk with my crews. We took an oath to protect civilization, not to enforce blind obedience. Earth is protecting people who ask difficult questions, who made hard choices for the right reasons. That sounds like civilization to me." "You would betray the coalition," Al demanded. "I would serve its true purpose," replied. "Half of my crews are from worlds that were once on the edge of exile themselves. We remember what it was like to be judged as too dangerous, too different. The coalition gave our species a chance. Earth is doing the same for others. We will not attack them for it." One by one, other coalition ships broke formation. Not many, but enough. 3 warships declared they would not fire on Earth. Their crews had decided that following orders and doing what was right were not the same thing. Inside allowed himself a small smile. The galaxy was changing, in real time, right before their eyes. But Al was not finished. This is mutiny. This is chaos. This is exactly why the coalition must maintain order. Its fleet's weapons reached full charge. Any ship that does not follow commands will be marked as hostile. Gripped his controls, ready for battle. Then the judge's voice cut through the channel, clicking and sharp. "High Arbiter, a word." A private conversation happened. The coalition fleet held position, waited, barely breathing. When Al spoke again, its voice was different, still cold but with something else underneath: uncertainty. "The Coalition Council has been contacted by representatives from 147 colonies and stations. They are threatening to leave Coalition space if we attack Earth. Our member species are questioning this action." A long pause. "We are returning to Coalition Central for emergency discussions." The fleet began to power down its weapons. Could not believe it. They were leaving, not surrendering, not apologizing, but leaving without firing a shot. His voice was calm but could hear the relief. All ships stand down, return to Gateway. We are not under attack. The Exile fleet returned to the station. As docked, he saw people gathering in the docking bay, cheering, crying, hugging each other. They had survived. More than survived, they had won. Over the next days, the galaxy transformed. Colonies that downloaded Earth's research began working together, sharing more discoveries, building new networks outside Coalition control. The information released included proof of the Coalition hiding resources, restricting access to medical treatments, and controlling which species could advance technologically. The Coalition did not collapse, but it changed. It had to. Member species demanded reforms, transparency, equal access to knowledge. The rigid hierarchy that had ruled for centuries began to crack. Arrived at Gateway 3 weeks later, he had been relieved of command but not arrested. The Coalition could not afford to punish everyone who questioned them. There were too many now. Met his old mentor in Gateway's observation deck, looking down at Earth. "You risked everything," said. "So did you," replied. "When you saved those children, you showed me that following the rules is not the same as doing what is right. I just needed time to understand that lesson." They stood together in comfortable silence. "The Coalition has sent new representatives to negotiate with Earth," said. "They want to establish official diplomatic relations. They are calling it a mutual cooperation agreement. Earth gets to keep its refugees. The Coalition gets access to some of the research. Everyone pretends this was the plan all along." Laughed politics. "Yes, but it is better than war." Glanced at him. "They are offering pardons to some exiles, those who were convicted of minor violations. You could return to Coalition space if you wanted." Looked at Earth below. He thought about the community on Gateway, about's research station, about's refugee network, about the defense pilots he flew with, about the children he saved now studying at Earth's universities, building new lives. "No," said, "this is home now." 6 months later, stood in the same observation deck, but he was not alone. His sister Sora had finally arrived from station. She had quit her Coalition job and requested transfer to Earth. "It is beautiful," she said, seeing the planet for the first time in person. "It is," agreed. Gateway Station had doubled in size. Earth's population of exiles had grown to 20,000. New Haven below had expanded into 3 cities. Species from across the galaxy came not as refugees now, but as immigrants, seeking a different kind of life, a choice-based life instead of a rule-based one. Was writing the official history. She interviewed just last week. "What do you think changed?" she had asked. "What made the difference?" Had thought about it carefully. Earth did not have the biggest ships or the most weapons. Earth had something better. Earth asked a simple question. What if we welcomed people instead of judging them? What if we measured civilization by compassion instead of conformity? That question changed everything. Now, standing with his sister, watching ships arrive and depart from Gateway, thought about the journey. From exile to home, from isolation to community, from following orders to making choices. The Coalition had exiled him for saving 6 children. Earth had welcomed him for being himself. The galaxy would never forget the year Earth shared its knowledge freely. The year small colonies stood up to ancient power. The year exiles proved that those cast out could build something better than what cast them out. His exile had ended, but his real life, his chosen life, had just begun. "Come on," he said to Sora. "Let me show you around. There are some people I want you to meet, and some children who will be excited to hear stories about their rescuer's family." Together they walked through Gateway Station, through corridors filled with hope and possibility, into a future that belonged to everyone brave enough to choose it.